I come to you as a teacher. I taught 5th grade from 1992 to 1995. And I remember my very first day, my principal said to me, "Mr. Rose, here's all the data from all the kids in your class. Make sure you meet every student where they are." And I said, "Okay, I got it." And he said, "Oh, by the way, Mr. Rose, here's the 5th grade curriculum. Make sure you teach it." And I said, "Well, how exactly am I supposed to?" He said, "Do your best." And I did my best. But my best wasn't enough. When I went back to find some of these students 7 years later, I saw some graduate, some on the street, and some dealing drugs, and some in jail. And I wondered whether I had the impact as a teacher that I had hoped to have. The job was hard. It's hard to differentiate instruction. It's not a new problem. This problem's been around since the middle of the 19th century, when Horace Mann came back from Prussia and said, "I saw the future. 30 kids in a classroom with a teacher, because that's what will teach kids with different religious backgrounds to coexist." And that became the blueprint for how we do K-12 the way we do K-12 today. A few years ago, I was working in New York City for Joel Klein, the school's chancellor, and I had an idea. I said, what if we didn't just assume one teacher and 30 kids in a room inside an 800 square foot classroom? What if instead there was a large open space with different stations, and some stations where kids work with teachers, and some stations where kids work with software, and some stations where kids work collaboratively with each other? And what if above each station there was a sign? This is Northwestern University. This is Columbia University. And what if when students walked into the classroom they saw a big TV monitor, but they saw their name and they saw which station they go to? And what if every single day students took an online assessment, and we could take the data from that assessment and create a new schedule for them the next day based on how they did the previous day? It was a crazy idea. We launched this program, which we called School of One, in the summer of 2009. And by the end of the year, Time Magazine named it one of the best inventions of the year. It was the first ever education invention to make Time's Best Inventions list. A couple years later, some of our philanthropic supporters said, "Tell you what, we know that there are kids beyond New York City that need this type of personalized learning." And they challenged us by giving us some research and development funding to figure out a different way of doing school, a way that would be scalable, a way that would be economically sustainable, and a way that, most importantly, would get much better results than our traditional factory model classroom. The question, though, was where would it go? Where would it create this new model, which we call Teach to One? And a little while after that, we got a phone call from the folks at the Chicago Public Education Fund, who shared with us a vision. It was a vision to help make Chicago an international hub for K-12 education innovation. And they wanted Teach to One to be part of that vision. The leadership in the Chicago Public Schools and the mayor's office shared in that vision. And last year, we launched the first 2 Teach to One programs in Chicago. We operated at SYNCERE Academy on the west side and Gray Elementary in the northwest side, serving about 600 students, both in low-income communities. And we started to hire a local team, an instructional coach, and a program manager, and operations associates to make sure this was done the right way. At the end of the year, the results came in, and they exceeded far beyond what we had even expected. On average, across both schools, students learned 1.7 years of gains in just this first year of implementation. And those students that came in behind grade level made 2 years' worth of growth in just a single school year. After that, we opened up this year. We added a new partnership school to our family, the Marquette School of Excellence, in partnership with AUSL. And now in total, we're serving 1,100 students across Chicago. But what does it mean? 1.7 years or 2 years of gains. Why is that so important, especially in this city? Let me tell you why. Today, 56% of CPS 8th graders are not on track to meet college readiness standards. And the sad truth is, because our high schools aren't designed to provide remedial education, only 19% of them are likely to catch up when they are in high school. That's the distressing news. But here's the opportunity. Nationally, 83% of students who take algebra in 9th grade and geometry in 10th grade attend college. The simple fact is, if we can get kids out of 8th grade ready for algebra, we put them on a much better trajectory to attend and be successful in college. That's what we're about as an organization. We want to continue to be part of this movement to make Chicago a hub for K-12 innovation. And to do that over the next 3 years with your help, we want to expand the number of students we're serving from what's currently 1,100 to 10,000. And we're confident that with those students, on average, we can see 2 years' worth of gains. Now, these gains and these goals we know are big, but we're confident we can get there. One, because we're already seeing promising results. In the first year, with 1.7 years' worth of gains, we are now so much better this year. The schools we're operating with, and we're comfortable with the model. Last year, we actually accumulated 3 million academic data points. We've already started to figure out how best to use that information. And second, the model is scalable. We don't run schools. Schools, whether they're district schools or charter schools or even independent schools, simply replace their traditional textbook-based math program with Teach to One. So with your help, we'd be excited to continue to be part of this exciting movement around K-12 innovation and know that Chicago is primed to be a national leader in that area. Thank you very much.